Hello,
Hello.
welcome to the Messy Deep Sea Studio. This is episode 4, I think, now.
Yeah, would it be?
Yeah, included 3.
Yeah.
So naturally comes 4. We have today, I feel like I should do an introduction for people who haven't seen the film, but we made a film with James. And yeah, here we are to talk a little bit more about that. So if you haven't seen the film, go watch it. If you would like to. It's good, I think. What do you think, James?
Well, it's very good to me, yes.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for being part of it. Yeah. I'm glad we're doing this. We're going to try and do this with everyone that we make something with, because I think in filmmaking you don't always get that. You make something and then you just put it out, and then maybe someone will see it, or maybe you have a comment on a website. But so thank you for making the time to come and see it today. We just watched it today together, or you watched it. And I've watched it many times in the edit. But I suppose maybe the first thing is what we kind of had your immediate reactions earlier, but what is your general take on it? How have you found it?
Well, it is of course interesting to me, and it's about myself, and it's a very good, skillful, and there are a few touching moments in the video. You call it film, and I have some emotional recall and of what happened in the last days, and particularly there are some thoughts about about my past, when I participated in the democratic movement in Hong Kong. I remember Dearborn Zen Master, when he was in Hong Kong, he gave a Dharma talk. And I think he's mentioning something, talking about me, although he did not refer it to me at all. And he just said, when I was young, I was engaged in the social movement, protesting, demonstration, that sort of things. And then now I ask myself, not now, and then I ask myself, will the country be better if these people in the democratic movement become the leaders? And his answer is, no, they won't. I remember that Dharma talk because I know he's referring to me. At that time, Hong Kong is start to have some turbulences in social movement, and this Hong Kong Zen Center, Subon Zen Monastery, did not like that. Not like me being a activist, democratic activist. Well, I don't put it on my mind. I don't have much pleasure about it. And even nowadays, I'm still an activist in UK, supporting the Hong Kong's movements. And if I want to add something in the video, this may be a part which I may like to add, but of course it's not the theme. Well, it's the other side of me. Other than Buddhist, I'm a Buddhist and Buddhist student, and I'm also an activist of democratic movement in UK for Hong Kong. That may be that may compose a full pictures of me. I'm not saying that the video is not good in this aspect. Well, once everybody's life is a long, long history. I think it has been fantastic. I mean, the video to me.
Glad.
I just wonder if I'm small potato. Is the others would like the story.
Well, I've had this thing in my head recently from Lord of the Rings. Actually, it might actually be from The Hobbit. I'm not sure, but it's I forget who he's talking to, but somebody asked Gandalf why the hobbits. You know, the hobbits are the small creatures and they live a very peaceful life. They don't really get involved with lots of big politics and battles and wars and things like that, usually. But they get involved here, and somebody asks kind of why them, why the little people, right? And he says something, I'm going to butcher this, but he says something like, some people believe that evil is kept at bay by, you know, big, grand, heroic gestures or big shows of strength, armies, battles, that kind of thing. But actually that evil is kept at bay by small everyday acts. And that really touched me, and it really reminds me of what you said about love actually in the film, because you said, you know, I don't believe in all these huge big gestures and it's not necessarily the truth. And it really hit me when you said, you know, I asked you what the truth was and you said, it's just two people staying together. You know, that's love. So I think in the same way, for me, when I give some maybe backstory. So we practice in the same Sangha in London, a meditation center. And pretty much everything you say in the film, you said in a Dharma talk or introduction talk at a Dharma talk. And you said it in front of everyone. It was very honest. It was funny. It was raw. And I didn't really know you very well at the time. And I just had this intuition of like, oh, I would love to film you in some way. I mean, that was, you know, you've got such a, to me, was such a touching story.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't, yeah. To me, I don't know, when I make art, or I'm trying to make more and more art, is, who is it? Rick Rubin talks about this. You know, you make it for you. And it's my belief that whatever you are interested, what you feel is meaningful, other people will connect with that as well. So I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to watch it. I don't know, whatever, but I'm going to share it wherever I can, because I think, well, actually, I can tell you, I did share it to somebody yesterday who's also a filmmaker, and she said it was beautiful. She said you were, well, what words does she use? She said a lovely soul, and she really enjoyed it. But yeah, that's not really the point. The point for me is just I got to spend some time with you
Yeah.
and learn about your situation. So thank you.
I think you're perfectly right that a filmmaker, sometimes you don't care too much about the response from audience. You just make it with your honest feeling.
Mm.
And the honest feelings, the humanity inside the honest feeling is something that touches us, And after all, if you make a documentary which is so perfect, but without your own feelings, then it's a bad documentaries. Some documentaries are well made, but no soul, no feelings, and that's no good. And unlike the one what you make for me, and I think that the soul, I don't know whether I use the right word or not. There's a spirit, the soul in the video, and full of the video, and that's most important of all. And of course, all the cutting, all the editing, the music, everything is beautiful.
It makes me very happy to hear. I was quite nervous. I was like, I don't know. I think you're very honest. So my gut feeling was that it was going to be okay because, you're not trying to deceive anyone. I just put everything in there that is of you, but I don't know. That is something I actually wanted to ask is about your honesty, because I think that is the number one thing that struck me when you gave that Dharma talk that I first listened to, and then when we started filming as well, because you don't really change when you're on camera. At least to me, I don't notice anything. So so to me, it feels like you hold truth to be almost like the most important thing, or one very, very important thing. I mean, how important is that to you to remain truthful and open?
Well, I always believe in a Chinese poem about 平常心, the ordinary mind or daily mind. What's the word you use?
I said ordinary mind.
Ordinary mind. And the first thing for ordinary mind is honesty. Don't perform. So I keep asking myself, don't perform. Just do what you really are, what you really feel. And I think I feel pretty good in this aspect. Yes, I'm an honest man. I don't hide my emotion, and I don't pretend that I'm something not real. And I just try to respond to questions with my true, honest feelings. And that's the fundamental principle for my practice as a Buddhist student.
I think something that you said that I thought about a bit when you said you were a little bit worried that maybe you would be seen, you don't want to be seen as a teacher in the video. You don't want to be seen as a teacher, and you're not a teacher. And I wanted to say, as someone who was watching it and just hearing about Vincent's experiences with you, is I feel like you're an amazing teaching, and I think that anybody who is able to be completely honest about their experience, it's a teaching to us all. When
That's
when
right.
you are completely honest, then
That's right.
you can learn, and I think that is something that is it gives so much, I think, inspiration and connects your soul, because to be able to go through what is maybe the most difficult situation that most people, if they have a wife, a husband, a long-term partner, that is the toughest situation that they could imagine going through, and you're able to do it and keep your heart open and be honest. And I think that strangely enough, people are pulled towards that, even though it's even though it's something that I think most people don't want to think about and they avoid. Most of our culture is a sort of death denial, suffering denial. We don't want to think about what's going on there. And for you to be there and so present with it, it actually kind of gets people to be a little bit less freaked out by it, because they go, well, this man is going through it, and he's able to take it as a teaching. And if that's possible, then maybe it's possible for me as well to be able to see it in that way.
As I emphasized, honesty is my first principle of life, and I'm a playwright in Hong Kong. I'm still writing some play. I'm writing a monologue now, and hope to share with you maybe months later. And when I write my play script, honesty is also an important guiding principle for me. I'll keep asking myself, is it my honest feeling about that? And I want to touch my audience with my own honesty. They can feel what I feel, and so that they would like the drama I wrote in my play. And the same in life, I try my best to be honest, and I never hide up my shortcomings and something I worried. For instance, my wife is a dementia patient, and she's at a later stage, and that makes me depressed, and I have some minor depressions and cannot sleep well. I don't hide that up. My friends, all my friends know that, and I'm fortunate that because they know that, many of them try their way to comfort me and ask me out to occupy my boring time, and I'm most grateful, and maybe it's a kind of reward to my honesty. 中国人不 Chinese do not usually say 我爱你 because it's a Western expression, I think. But 现在 now the time change and people say I love you.
Yeah.
So how do you say I love you in what, has it changed over time? Now in China people say I love you a little bit differently?
If we say I love you in Chinese, it's feel a little bit awkward for older generations.
Oh, I see.
And we just say I like you. It's a more subtle way. Chinese culture is more subtle than the Westerners.
Yeah.
Right.
You are very expressive, and comparatively you are aggressive. But not the Chinese people. We are humble. And we do not tend to express our emotion directly.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting because I sometimes find, I feel like we're both repressed, just in different way.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I met my wife, Mingya Lemon, I felt like she was quite direct in a lot of ways.
Mm.
Like not, like one thing would be pointing out someone's weight or physical appearance, like I think like
That's her characteristic.
yeah, but
Not Chinese culture.
yeah, well, because her grandmother does it to her and her mom, and like I think it was our 4th date or something. Now, to be fair to her, I brought it up. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight," and she went, "Yeah, lose weight," and you wouldn't say that here, like so. But I appreciate. But even though in the moment I was a bit shocked, I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I thought about it and I went, "You know what? Actually, it's quite refreshing." Now I don't know. It's been a few years, and don't need to say as maybe as much as she does, but yeah, I appreciate that. That is more direct. But we would definitely express some things. Yeah, like a love. We use that a lot.
Mm.
I do think some people use it too much. That can happen too. People say, "I love you, I love you, I love you."
You just like the hugging, and we don't do it in China, in Hong Kong, usually.
Yes.
Usually.
Yes.
But when I come to UK, I get used to it,
Yeah.
hugging each other.
I hugged you earlier, and then you didn't realize there was a bit of a moment where I had my arms down. You looked back as if I was pointing. I was like, no, no, no. And then I thought, oh yeah, wait, that's not a Chinese thing usually. But yeah, it's I tried to hug my wife's friend once when we were in China to say goodbye. I was like, oh, bye, and she was like, no, 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 no.
Don't do it.
No, your wife is right there. You don't hug me. I was like, oh, okay. And then we all laughed about it, and then she went, okay, we had a hug. But
That's very funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just following on from what you were saying about honesty, is there, because you're very honest about like, yes, maybe, you had issues before with your family and things like that. But it sounds like you didn't always place honesty in that kind of importance, that level of importance. What do you think sort of like changed in your life that you valued that?
Well, Buddhism changed me a lot, almost entirely. I have a hot temper. I'm a playwright, and I spoil my emotional feelings. And I am also sensitive in emotions. And sometimes I as a drama artist, I know how to perform. I am not a good actor, but I know how to put myself in a position that makes myself look better and smarter, that sort of things. And particularly in front of girls. And but after I start to learn Buddhism, and bit by bit, not immediately, bit by bit, slowly, I understand that there's a kind of hypocrisy, and that made me worse, not better, if I try to perform better. Just like talking with you guys, I keep telling myself not to perform, but to act in honesty. And that's the best of me. And So yes, I learned honesty from Buddhism, and it's important and become the fundamental first principle of me nowadays.
Yeah. It's, to me, it feels undeniable that that should be the fundamental principle of my life, for example. And I do try and practice it, and just practice in general. But yeah, it's all that. I said this to Zen Master Dayan when we were in the interview, Kongan interviews, which, if people don't know, Kongan, like koan, like Japanese koan. So it's like people call it a riddle. It's not quite a riddle, but yeah, it's like a question that's you're meant to answer it as directly and honestly and spontaneously. Maybe not quite the right word, but directly.
And respond before thinking.
Yeah. So you don't think about it. You can't get the answer by thinking about it. You just have to go for it. And I was in that interview with Zen Master Dayan, and I was, and that thing of honesty came up because I thought, I told her, I said to her, this Kong interview, I mean, you're asking me to be as honest as possible in the response. And to be honest, like, it's scary. It does scare me sometimes, because I think I'm quite able, kind of like what you were saying, like performing, I'm able to, not with the girls, like you said, but just in general, with people, I tend to like, and I haven't worked it out yet. I don't know if I'm deforming myself or not. It's hard to know, but I'm quite diplomatic, like slightly be a bit different, and I don't know. I think there's a balance where I think, oh, it's really good because I can like meet someone on their level, their energy, and I kind of reflect them.
Yes.
And I think that's a positive thing. But then sometimes I think something will come up where I want to say something and I don't. And then afterwards I think, why didn't you just do that? Because that was real, but you stopped it. And that's where sometimes, I struggle.
Well,
so I think, watching just being around with you, I feel like, and I'm not, not saying like you're necessarily perfect or anything, but just, I can definitely feel that you, to me, you seem to not do that as much as I do it in my head. I might be wrong, but.
Well, I think when I say honest, doesn't mean that I won't decorate myself. When I talk to you, I speak slower, and I put on clothes at least. And that doesn't mean dishonesty. I think honesty is your mind. You may act a little bit better in front of people, in front of the camera. That's natural. That's natural. That's not dishonest. But you have an honest mind, and you don't try to hide. And as I said in the Chinese poem, the ordinary mind is honesty, and there's no cut or continuity. It's just go, and let's etc. etc. And then the final verse is, ordinary mind is the way. And I think that's very important to every people, not necessarily a Buddhist. If you can follow this way of honesty, you become a much better person.
Yeah. I think sometimes that means feeling things that aren't nice, or saying things that are uncomfortable. Maybe to use an example that, to me, the part of me that wouldn't want to be that honest reacted to you talking about you having trouble with your wife when you were younger and falling in love with the TV director. And you said that in the Dharma talk, and you said it in the film. And there's part of me that goes, oh, why would you say that? And I don't agree with that part of, but it's just, to me, that is so, like, you don't have to say that. You know what I mean?
I don't have to.
You don't have to, but it is what happened. And it's very honest, and it was relevant to what you were talking about. And it made your talk very powerful, because I could see that it's not like you're not proud of it, you're not happy, you're just saying this is what happened, and you obviously, maybe it's a bit uncomfortable to say it, but you say it anyway. That to me is very, very powerful.
You just use the word relevant. I think relevancy is important. In Buddhism, we believe 随缘, 随缘. That's follow the situation. That means you're relevant to the situation. And the when you talk about Buddhism to other people, the Platform Sutra said, if people doesn't agree with you, you just hop down and say goodbye. And you won't reinforce strongly on what you say, because people will have their own situation, unlike you. And so you just follow the situation and do something appropriate. And the correct situation, the correct action, that's I think that's the honesty. And that's the ordinary mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that, strange question, are you honest with how are you honest with yourself?
In the past, no, I'm not an honest man at all. I don't honest with myself. I do many wrong things then. And then when I started to understand the virtue of honesty, I try my best to be honest to my own self. For instance, I don't know whether you have the similar feelings or not. When I've done something wrong in the day, in the evening, the things will come back to your mind again, and I will feel very bad about that. To the extent that I would say something indecent, something bad, and it points to nobody. It refers to nobody. It's just feelings was strong and made me feel sad, and I express it. Well, in autism, they have a name on it. It's called what's in English? The autistic people sometimes have a syndrome of saying something bad for no reasons. And it's just like that. And then what I'll do is I return my mind to my dantian and say, put it down. put it all down. I know it's something really bad for me to do that things, etc. And for instance, I didn't give way to an old lady crossing the road, that sort of thing. And it's really bad. But I try to ask myself to put it down, put it all down. Not every time, not successful every time, but so to answer your question, I try my best to be honest, but I may not be 100% honest people. Sometimes, due to certain things come in, I still reacted this not in an honest way. And particularly in some adverse situation, when I have difficult opinion with other people, that sort of things. I think I'm a smart guy, too smart. When people say something against my feelings, I would try to cover up. But nowadays, the difference is, afterwards I'll think about it. Oh, that's dishonest to me. I don't need to do that. I'll do it a better way next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that, man. I can see that in my own mind. I don't know if this is what you mean, but yeah, if you're not balanced, like if you're not centered, you're not feeling good, or you did something bad or something, you're holding on to something, right? And somebody comes up to you and they say something that you disagree with or kind of hits you in some kind of way. Yeah, I can see that sometimes. And it almost feels like I have no power to stop it unless I'm practicing and maybe I had enough sleep or whatever it is, but I'm centered. If I'm centered, I can kind of hopefully actually override it and make a better decision. But yeah, sometimes it's just, especially with like your partner or somebody you live with or your friends, it's just, I can see myself creating like it's like this, what is it? It's like a mechanism of defense that starts and goes, oh no, but what you don't understand is this, and using words and my mind to try and like change things that I can't change. I don't know if that's what you meant, but just this kind of, because you're defending your idea or you're defending your thinking in some way.
Yeah.
Because you haven't put that down. You're holding that as like, oh, no, I have to. And it's almost like, if I don't defend this, then I'll die. Which I think is true in some way, some kind of psychological death. But yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
I think I think a lot of the trouble with honesty that we have is that it's we've been trained that it's so important to care what other people think. And so there's a very strong desire to make you happy rather than to be true. And the reason if we're being honest with ourselves, sort of where that comes from is because we have this place inside us where we don't feel okay. And we need other people to tell us who we are to feel okay, to know that we exist. And so I want to make you happy so that you tell me, that I am who I think I am. And if you tell me who I am, who I think I am, then maybe I feel okay. I feel safe. I feel all right. And if we're being honest with ourselves, and that's so much of the journey with Buddhism, it's going into that hole of where you don't feel okay and finding out, because that's the don't know mind. that's going into it and going, all these ideas of who you think you are that you're trying to hold on to feel safe and fine. You're either attaching to, I'm a smart person, or I'm a good looking person, or I make this money, or I'm part of this team, you know, or I've gone to this many countries, I've written books, I've done this. All of these are aspects of your identity that you're holding on to. And, you know, you form this attachment with them and you want other people to tell you, hey, is this special? Is this a good thing that I've done? You know, and they go, oh yeah, very well done. Good job, you know, you really have, look at you really know your food, you know your wine, you know your books, you know. And to let go of all that is very scary. And I don't think people even know that they are holding on to it because they think that is who they are. Because, well, that's the thing. It's like, who you think you are. You're so attached to the idea of who you think you are that to try and get to the place of, you know, I don't know who I am. That sounds, and in a very strange way, to most people, that sounds terrifying because it seems like the equivalent of losing all your memory, losing your mind, is the idea of saying, I don't know who I am. That's something that we put in films as like having a bad trip, or someone's had a terrible moment where they wake up and someone goes, hey, what's going on? You go, I don't know who I am. And everyone goes, oh no, oh no, the worst thing has happened. They don't know who they are. What are we going to do about this? You know? And so instead, it's much easier to stay safe. And I'm not going to be honest about, I don't know who I am. And I'm kind of freaking out about it. Instead, I'm going to go, I know who I am. You know, I'm a filmmaker, you know, I'm a teacher, I'm a this. And you go, yeah, you are. And I see that you're this thing. And we all play this game where it's much easier to make each other happy, telling each other who we think we are, than to, you know, to just admit, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am. That's scary.
Well, I can share with you a story of mine about honesty. And when my wife, before she was admitted to hospital and nursing home, and she had a syndrome called delirium syndrome. That means she suddenly occur with a hot temper, saying something bad language, and attacking people. All my 4 limbs were wounded, and she and hers as well. And that's really a period of time like nightmare. And sometimes I cannot control my temper. Many times I cannot control my temper. And she said, I want to go out. I said, no, I can't go out with you. And that makes the episode, this delirium episode, last for hours. And during that hours, do I really think that I shouldn't go out with her? Or is it much easier if I go out with her and her emotion will go down? But in that moment, I really have some sort of punishing mind. I want to punish her because she do a lot of bad things. She yelled at me, she hit me, she broke the furniture, she threw the table lamp onto the ground. So I want to punish her. You want to go out? No, I'm not going to go out with you.
I'm not going to give you a nice thing after everything you've put me through.
Yes. So sometimes it lasts for hours. And even nowadays, I feel very, very bad, very, very miserable about that. Why? Why did I do that to punish my wife with the dementia problems? Even at that moment, I know that is not good to her. So even in nowadays, when I think of of it at night, I couldn't sleep.
Mm.
I think that's a kind of dishonesty. And the only way I could do is put it down.
Yeah.
Put it all down. I know there's no use, the damage is done. But just ask myself to put it down.
Mm.
And is it something that you have to keep putting down, or do you feel like you've put it down, or you forgive yourself, or whatever it is that?
I told myself to put it down, but I cannot put it down because it really hurt her at that moment, and she's so vulnerable. She couldn't help herself.
Mm.
So I think I deserve to take care of her like the present moment, because in Buddhism we believe in cause and consequence, and I ought to do better to compensate her too. There's other things.
Mm.
Mm.
So you feel like that has, because I think what's interesting that comes to mind is there's sort of two almost different views of karma there, which is one is, action, it's just action and reaction, and having an understanding that karma is, what you carry with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the karma of that moment is something that you carry within yourself going forwards. And then there's another understanding of it where it's almost action, and this is almost a bit of a more of a Christian idea, and then kind of repenting and repaying, and trying to atone for something. And it seems like there are two levels, which is one, you may be thinking about, because of that, you need to make things right with your wife. And then at another level, that it's in your mind and it's something you have to let go of, that attachment to that action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's important whether it's Christian or Buddhist or Muslim, and I just trying to do my best as at present. At present, I'm a lonely old man living alone, and I'll do the things I think which is suitable for me, and that makes me feel better. And to be honest, I'm living in a very big psychological pressure nowadays. My wife in the latest stage of dementia, and there's many things occurring in life which is not smooth. But I can survive because of Buddhism. I try my best to do it in the Buddhist way. And that's why I have a comparatively stronger mind to live with, and comparatively stronger mind to face the adverse situation. And I hope I can go on with it.
Mm.
No, I appreciate your honesty because I think it's contagious and it brings it out in other people. And already just speaking with you and being with you makes me more honest with myself.
To me, it's a dramatic change because I'm a drama artist. I get used to acting
Mm.
and not saying my true feelings in the past. And I have to change it to say what is true on my side. It's very difficult at the beginning and becoming more and more easy nowadays. But still, I have to face it. I'm not a 100% honest man. Sometimes I cannot control and do some dishonest things, and I'll try to review and ask myself, don't do it next time. That's my way.
Yeah, I feel like from you, and it happened as well when, well, in your Dharma talk when I first heard you speak, and also in our interview and today as well, those moments where you are sort of just, the word radical comes to mind, but radical honesty, just sharing suffering, because I think the film that we made and that what came through from me, and because we mentioned at the beginning you were activist in Hong Kong and still are, and there's lots of different aspects of your life that are very interesting, and we could speak for hours and hours. I love spending time with you, but when we spent that time together to make the film, what came through to me that I focused on, or I tried to in the film, is yes, honesty, which is what we're talking about, but also specifically, honesty around suffering, because it's easier to be honest about, I don't know, something good, right? Like I can say, oh yeah, I bought a new house or something, and that's honest, but it's like an easy thing to say. But I definitely struggle with being honest about the hard things, like, because why do I need to say them? And I think spending time with you is helping me not understand it psychologically, but understand it with my whole body, because you do it. And when I'm with you, it's so powerful. It's just saying what is happening. Like, this is my situation. This is painful. And this is what I'm doing. And that to me is transformative. Just to be around that, as you said, it's contagious because you were being honest. And I think especially in the UK, and Ireland as well, we're very, very used to just, yeah, and all over the world in different ways, I'm sure. But from my culture, what I'm aware of, I see it so clearly that, well, not always so clearly, but I try to, especially being in a workplace. I don't know if you ever worked like a corporate job, but it's like, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm all right. No one will ever say anything else. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm okay. Because it's polite and because I don't want to disrupt you with my emotions. Like, I have friends like that who have told me, the closest I ever get to having a real raw emotional talk with them is they stop and they say, I just don't want to burden you with that. And I understand it because I feel that way as well. But actually thinking that my friend is feeling that suffering, that deep, deep suffering, and they can't tell even me, I've done that to myself, but to think that someone else is doing it makes me incredibly upset because I don't know. I can handle it. I want to handle it because you're my friend. I want to help. I don't know. Like when you're talking about your situation, I don't really have anything to say. I can't tell you. You say it in the film. It's like people will say nice words to you, but that's not going to help. But I think you just saying it and us just being here, to me, I don't know about you, but for me, that helps me already. And I don't know if it helps you, but it feels, transformational in some way, if that makes sense. So it's a really beautiful thing. And I think, I'm really happy to have filmed some of that and maybe share it because, I feel very lucky to have met you, like, honestly. So
Thank you. Thank you. And that's why I emphasize so much that the film, the video will not overshoot me and just reflect what I am. And I think you did it. Yes, that's what I am. The video, and I think that's very challenging and difficult for a filmmaker to do that. Just following some interviews and you can reflect so much truth in the film, and that's great. That's great. Very, really great, and you did well.
Well, thank you. I was nervous, but I'm glad that you, see it as that, because it can be what we're talking about here with honesty. I think I think this has gone well because you are honest, right? Because I could make a film about someone and show them, let's say you said this before, 95% accurate. So say I film someone and I get them 95% accurate, and then they tell me, oh, actually, I don't like what I said there, or I don't like how I got emotional there, or I don't like, and they could want to say, oh, I don't want that in the film. And I am, that's fair enough. I totally understand it. And there's an ethical part of that responsibility that I have, to make sure that there's trust between us, right? But at the same time, it's difficult because, it depends on the film, but I suppose I'm trying to show you as you are. And if you come to me and say, I don't like this part of me and I don't want it in there, then suddenly the you on the camera is a bit different. So I think I was probably a little bit worried about that, but I think I knew, some part of me knew just from being with you, that you probably wouldn't do that because you are so honest. You put it all out there in the film, and there's nothing, but it's important to me that, you're comfortable with it. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
I remember once you asked me, why do I trust you to make the video? Well, to be honest, I do not have any trust on you, or I'm not trust you 100%, or I don't trust you 100%. I just follow the situation, and I would really ask for amendment if you decorate or package me as a teaching Buddhist, and then I won't accept that. And because I don't know whether the video will be sent to will somebody in Hong Kong see it or not, but sooner or later, when they see it, and I hope that they won't find the untrue self of me in the video. and not to make trouble with them.
Mm.
You know, when I when I retired from the Hong Kong government, and I almost became the administrator of Subon Zen Monastery in Hong Kong. But then there was somebody talking to the Zen master there, Zen master there Kwan, and reminding her that I'm an activist in the social movements. And so Day Kwan, Zen master, talked to me and say, I would appoint you as the administrator of the Zen monastery, with only one condition. You quit from the democratic movement. And my immediate response, and still my response nowadays is no. I will continue to be engaged in democratic movement, although my sifu, my teachers, do not like it. And that's what you say, karma. The karma in my life is that I will be a Buddhist, and I also will be an activist in political movement, and I also a playwriting, drama playwright. That's all.
Out of interest, I was just wondering, why is it that activism is so important to you, especially considering that, you know, your Zen master was offering you this appointment if you left it? Because you mentioned about Master, is it Wu Bong's story, who when he was
Day Bong, I think.
oh well, so
Day Kwan.
So-
Sorry, it's Day Bong.
so Master Wu Bong also has the same story in Poland, where he was part of a political movement, and then he suddenly looked around and realized, if these people were in power, it would be just as bad. And so I'm just wondering how you take that understanding into you deciding to continue to be politically active and be an activist. Do you feel like when you look around, the people who you are activists with, you look at and you have that same feeling as Wu Bong, or is it a different understanding?
I have a strong mind of justice. It's not good for Buddhism. And when I was young, a few years before I entered the university, I'm in connection with some leftist political wings, and I started to learn Marxism, Leninism, and become a pro-China student in university. And until 19, I did that because I feel communist is the future of our society. Until 1976, Mao Zedong died, and the Four People's Gang capture, I don't know whether you know that history or not, the four important followers of Mao Zedong was arrested. And I saw people changing. The people in the left wings suddenly changed from supporting those four people to something against them, over 24 hours. I cannot accept it. And so I left the left wing. And then until 1989, the June 4th movement, I witnessed the massacre of Tiananmen Square, and I turned myself to the democratic movement. That's my history, my political history, and that's why up till now the communists do not like me. They have a file that thick for me, and they even do many things to against me in the last decades of years. That's why I left Hong Kong immediately after the introduction of the security law. And I don't think my attachment, I shouldn't say that, it's not whether I think it or not, my commitment to the social movement in Hong Kong and now in UK is not against Buddhism. Buddhism asks us to be honest. Buddhism asks us to upkeep justice in a way suitable to the environment and social atmosphere locally. So I do it. And I try not to attach that. When I listen to news in Hong Kong, in UK, I try to use a mirror mind to see them. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. It's Summer, the Labour bad party, and it's the Social Democrat good. I try to put myself in the mirror mind. I support the Social Democrat simply because of their agenda related to Hong Kong. And not everything of them. I think I should show some support to them just because their platform on Hong Kong issues. Again, that is not against Buddhism. In America, there's a movement called Committed Buddhism. They also committed into social movements. So, I don't think I should quit from the political movement if I want to be good Buddhist. Oh yes, Zen Master Wu Bang is right. Well, those people leading the democratic movement may not be good leaders if they take over the powers. So what? So what? Do we stop supporting the democratic? The democratic movements now? Do we support the autocratic dictators now? Just because we want to be peaceful, to be harmony to them? Well, I don't think so. As a Buddhist, as an activist, I do the same. I would fight for democracy. I would fight for justice. Although many of my friends in democratic movement is not really good people. Although what they say, I do not agree at all. sometimes, but I'll still be a activist, and I'll still be a Buddhism, as well as I'll still be a drama artist myself. Try to use my stories to tell people what I feel. Wu-Born is not wrong in a way. Yes, those people leading the democratic movement may not be a good person. They say, Nelson Mandela is a good president to South Africa? I don't know. I don't know, honestly. And the Poland president, is it Hawaii in English? The drama playwright in Poland, the leader of the trade unions? Well, doesn't matter. And does he become a good president after he became a president? I don't know, to be honest. And or in the history, most of the rebellious leader does not become a good leader of the country. And some of them did, but not all of them. And if I go back to history, I will still support them in the movement before they take the power, the authority.
I think that's probably where karma comes in, right? Where you talk about, that's my karma, I'm going to be Buddhist, but I'm also going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that comes back to honesty, right? If that's honestly how you feel and how you see, because I often sometimes, when I first started practicing, I thought, oh, maybe I should become a monk. Like if I don't become a monk, then am I not helping, the most I can? Or, why don't I dedicate my life to, I don't know, fighting a disease somewhere in Africa, or some kind of political movement, or, why aren't I? Because lots of people nowadays, especially, younger people, are very active in that way. And I see it. I've never really been to a protest. I've not really, kind of been active in that way. And sometimes I think, why haven't I? And am I not, honestly, like, am I not contributing to something in some way to the world? But I don't know. I think we all have our own. This is how I justify it to myself anyway. I don't know how 100% accurate or honest it is. I feel like it's honest, which is just, I'm better at this kind of thing. This is what I have skill in, is to, I didn't always know this, but now I feel like I want to help tell stories that, because stories have incredible power. They're incredibly, they frame, you look at any dictatorship, they use stories very, 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 in a very clever way. They know how to frame narratives, right? So stories can be a weapon. They can be lots of different things. And for me, I guess the best I have right now to explain it is, what I would like to do is to meet people like you and just share truth, very basic way. And I think that will help. Now, does that mean, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I should go and, be an activist, or I should be a monk or something like that. But actually, I don't know. It just feels like karma. It feels like this is what I should do. I can't explain it, I just have to do it. And that feels honest to me. And maybe it will change, but that's how I feel. So, I think that what you were saying is, kind of resonates quite heavily. Like, you can't really explain why, but this is what you have to do.
The whole world is occupied by lies, and we shouldn't add more lies to the world. That's all. We do what we can do.
Yeah. I've very much enjoyed talking to you, James. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
It's a very strange process, watching a documentary about someone and feeling like you know them, and then meeting you for the first time. You don't know me, and I feel like I know you.
Well, I know you a little bit through the episodes in your platform.
Right.
And you're not those guys who make documentaries for nothing. You have deep feelings on the tools and how you to use the documentaries, and I think that's admirable.
Oh, thank you, James. That's very kind. Very kind. Coming from such an honest person, that's means a lot.